Hi, I'm Joel Hunter. I'm 76 years old.
My name is Brandon Martin. I'm 38 years old.
You know, I grew up in a small town where nobody moved, and we lived all our lives together. And I left for college. I never went back, but that was the life I was used to.
I don't know what I can say for the interview, but I perform at a local theme park. I'm a performer, yeah.
Oh, good.
I've been doing that for about 10 years. My family's from the little Caribbean island of Grenada.
Okay, yeah.
But my parents actually met in Brooklyn, and so I'm a New Yorker originally, but yeah, of Grenadian.
Oh, that's so cool.
Heritage.
But how did that kind of shape you when you were growing up?
I wouldn't change it for the world. I just love the multicultural element of it. But yeah, a lot of different cultures that come together, and I feel like that's shaped my how I see the world. Mm-hmm. Coming from a Caribbean background, and not necessarily, I guess I feel American, but then I don't. I guess I sometimes feel like I'm seeing things from the outside-ish.
I'm trying to think of what I can ask and what I can't ask here.
Go for it.
You're a gay man.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how did that emerge? What's it like?
I kind of half came out to them in high school.
Uh-huh.
I told both of them, it was like my junior year, I think. Like, I might be interested in boys.
Uh-huh.
I might be interested in guys. I remember my mom saying, "But you haven't even dated girls yet. How do you know?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, thanks. No, that's not quite how that works."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess when came to the end of college and was pretty sure this was who I am, and came out to them, and they accepted me, and I don't take that for granted. That I feel very fortunate. Because that's not everybody's experience.
Was it recent enough that that is more socially acceptable?
This would have been like late 2000s.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess if I think through kind of everything that was going on, by that time, you'd had some states that had legalized gay marriage, mm-hmm. and I don't know. And mm-hmm. I mean, even aside from that, maybe just their own whatever they were thinking about and what was in their hearts. I'm just going to jump to it. This part about being President Obama's spiritual advisor.
Yeah.
So you
weird.
Drop names, name dropping.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, how'd that happen?
Well, he called me and was looking at expanding, the advisors he had around him, I think. Up to that time, I was a card-carrying conservative Republican. I've since become independent, but I still remember the day he came out for gay marriage, and I'm driving down 1792 up here, mm-hmm. And I get this call, and he said, "I want to tell you, I just did this interview and came out for gay marriage." Automatically, I said, "Well, Mr. President, I don't see that in the Bible." And he said, "I know, but let me tell you why I did it." And he said, "Every day I pass by in the West Wing this young man who has incredible ability. I also know he has a faithful relationship to his partner." And he said, "It really bothers me that he can't have with his partner what Michelle and I have." Mm-hmm. And it just made, oh my goodness, Mm-hmm. And so I went back to my congregation and I tried to explain to them, why this was the right thing.
You identified yourself as, I guess, being conservative evangelical.
Mm-hmm.
I guess your journey to that identity.
I grew up in enough of a bubble that I didn't have relationships out of other people, out of the realm of other people like me. And so when Pulse happened, for example, we were a huge church. We were probably the biggest church in Central Florida. And I was expecting, okay, I'm going to get all kinds of calls on this. And no calls came in. And then it hit me. I have no relationships with gay people per se. I mean, there were, of course, gay people in my congregation, but not so they would come and talk to me, not so that they felt safe to reveal that. And I just felt so convicted. And so I went to the pastor of the gay church in town, Joy Metropolitan Church, Reverend Terry, and I said, "Look, I'm not here to discuss gay issues. I'm here. I need a friend. I want you to be my friend, and I want to know you." And we just became the best friends. We still get together regularly. She's a hoot. I think she's just one of the best people I know.
You mentioned Pulse. I feel like Orlando's response to that said a lot about who we are.
Yeah.
And I'll even say I had just kind of moved to the area, a year or so before that, and I think that was the first time I felt like there's a community. I'm a part of this community, and to feel accepted.
Yeah,
I think was a big deal. So yeah.
Yep, I agree.
StoryCorps' One Small Step and the radio station hubs are made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. To sign up for a conversation, visit cfpublic.org/onesmallstep.